Dana White just announced UFC 315, and overall, it's a pretty good card. Now, before I get into why JDM is being overlooked against Belal Muhammad, just a few thoughts on the main card. One, I was shocked to hear that it is not going to be Belal versus Shavkat, which is kind of disappointing. I did want to see that fight. Shavkat, Dana did say that he's getting the next title shot. I do not agree with that. I think that he is so inactive. We cannot reward inactivity, in my opinion. I say give Shavkat Buckley, in my opinion, or Usman, just someone else. Maybe if Sean Brady beats Leon, I think that they should do Sean Brady versus Shavkat if he wins, or even Leon versus Shavkat if he wins. That's my thought on Shavkat. Now, Jose Aldo, he just got announced to fight on this card, I think against Sahabi or something like that. I believe he's Canadian. Jose Aldo needs a new manager. In his whole comeback after retiring, he has been so mismanaged. I mean, they're having him fight Bautista, Jonathan Martinez, Zahabi, the most irrelevant fights you could imagine. When you have Davison Figueiredo right there, the Corey Sandhagen fight, even the Umar fight, the Sean O'Malley fight, and Jose Aldo does deserve these favors. He's done so much for the company, but instead, they are giving him the worst possible names. Again, horrible management. Main card overall, it's pretty solid. It could be one of the most depressing cards though, because we could see JDM lose, we could see Shevchenko lose, we could see Gilbert Burns lose, we could see Grasso lose, and we could see Jose Aldo lose. I'm not saying that those are my picks, but it's definitely possible. Now, getting into the JDM Belal Muhammad fight and my thoughts on it and why JDM is being overlooked. So the first part, Belal versus Leon Edwards was razor close. People talk about this like it was domination, like a 50-42, like it was Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria. That's how they speak of this fight. You know, everyone says Belal ragdolled Leon, which he did in moments, and they say, oh, because he did that, he's going to do the same to JDM. Definitely possible. Belal did not dominate Leon Edwards. He definitely did not dominate him. He had dominant rounds, but so did Leon. And he dropped 2 of the 5 rounds. He only won 3 out of the 5. In the first round, he clearly won, but it was very competitive. Leon landed some really good shots in that round. And Leon lost that fight because he just did nothing to adjust in the 5 rounds. Every round was pretty much the same. Belal, he has a very good jab. He would push Leon back with his jab against the fence. Leon would have a high guard, and then as soon as he got his guard up, Belal would either throw body shots, land some good shots, or he would just take him down and throw him down, which he did, control him for most of the round, and then Leon would reverse the position in the last minute or so, but it wasn't enough to win him the round. That pretty much was the same story for every single round, with just, a little bit of a difference between every round. But still, Leon Edwards also is not a good boxer. I think that his boxing is a bigger weakness than his grappling, in my opinion, Leon Edwards. Belal is also super fast. His forward pressure won him the fight. He usually doesn't fight like that. He usually does not fight on the front foot in every single one of their fights. If you just look at the original fight before the rematch, he was on the back foot for a large majority of that fight. Now, that's my opinion on that fight, and I believe that Belal is kind of being a little bit overrated by some people because of this performance. And I just think that it was a very good performance, but it wasn't like an all-time performance. JDM, however, I think that his performance against Gilbert Burns is very underrated. I believe that he was winning that fight. I think that the judges got the scoring completely wrong. I think that he won the first round. And people say either, oh, Burns was up 2-0 and he was winning the third, or, oh, it was 1-1, but Burns was definitely winning the third. JDM won the first round and he was winning the third round. I don't care that Burns controlled him for 2 minutes with absolutely no damage. JDM was piecing him up in the first minute or so of that round. And even before he finished him, JDM, his gas tank, it looked great. Burns was the one who looked very tired. I get it was because he was shooting a lot of takedowns, so it makes sense. But still, JDM was always going to win that third round, and he was able to get the clutch finish. Again, that's kind of what you need against Belal. I feel like you kind of need to finish him. Obviously, he showed some weaknesses in his grappling. He was held down towards the end of the first and the second, but even that, I think that he just wanted to stay safe. It was only for, 20 seconds or so in the first. In the second, though, is a little bit of a different story. Burns did really good. He was landing some really good shots on the feet. And Burns, he's just a much different striker than Belal Muhammad. In this fight, he would kind of throw one big shot, and he was having success. He would either land it or he won it, and he just would back up, get out of the way. Belal Muhammad is the type of fighter where his style is actually kind of boxing heavy. He'll swing in the pocket, He'll go combination for combination to try to push you back against the cage to then set up his takedowns. And I feel like that way kind of favors a JDM knockout compared to Gilbert Burns, even though Burns is a little bit more chinny than a Belal Muhammad. And Belal, he also usually gets his takedowns against the fence. He has obviously gotten takedowns in the open before, but more recently, it seems like that's his main way, is to, take you against the fence, against the cage. And I feel like it's going to be a lot easier for JDM to get up that way. Now, Belal is very good at sticking to you and not letting you go and just shooting, takedown after takedown. He's very good at that. Moving on, JDM, I think he may be a harder matchup than Leon Edwards for Belal Muhammad. I think if you were to replace JDM with Leon Edwards, you replace their skill sets in July whenever they fought, I think that JDM does much better on the feet than Leon Edwards. And I do think that he's a better striker than a Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards may be a little bit more diverse on the feet, but overall JDM way more dangerous, a way better boxer, a lot more power. And I think that Belal's forward pressure isn't going to be as effective against a boxer compared to a kicker, in my opinion. I think that because Leon's kicks are so good, the fact that Belal was able to pressure him took away pretty much his greatest weapon. And with JDM, that's not going to be as much of a problem. Now, because of this, I think that Belal probably won't be on the front foot as much in this fight. I think it's going to be about even. And we've also seen Belal hurt many times before. And I think JDM, again, can knock out Belal Muhammad. How can he knock out Belal Muhammad? How can he beat Belal? One, he cannot accept bottom position. He has to get his back off of the cage by any means. He cannot be like Leon, where he kind of just sits there for a minute or two, catches his breath, feels sorry for himself. We've all watched Leon Edwards. We all know how he does fight like this at times. I do think he's going to need a finish, Belal. I don't think that it's going to be like, oh, JDM clutches up round 5 and he wins a 48-47 split decision. I think if JDM wins, it's going to be by a knockout. And I think that he needs to start fast in order to gain respect through his power on the feet, and ideally early in the first and second round. This way, Belal isn't going to just kind of bully him like he did Leon, not respect his power, just walk him down. And it's actually going to be kind of even on the feet. And he may even be able to push Belal back himself, similar to the Burns fight, where he had Burns kind of fighting on the outside. I definitely think that that's possible, and that's probably his main path to victory. I feel like it's kind of obvious how JDM would beat Belal. Now, my early prediction, will JDM beat Belal? Right now, probably not. I think that the odds don't make much sense. I think that it's a close fight. I think Belal is probably going to win a close decision. I just think Belal is one of those guys where, like I said, you have to finish him. It's almost like a Merab. Guys have had close fights with Belal that have gone to the scorecards, just like Merab, Sean O'Malley, Henry Cejudo, Umar. But I guess because of his cardio, his pace, he's just so good at outpointing people to a close decision. It's just what he's best at. And I think in this case, he will do it again. I think JDM will have success. I think he'll win 2 rounds. I think that people will be saying he's a future champ. Belal's old. If they rematch in a few years, JDM will win. And I think he's going to gain more respect than Leon Edwards for his performance. Not only because he's the underdog, but I think that he's going to do more damage on the feet. I think that he's going to hurt Belal at least once. I think Belal's going to do good on the feet, though. He's going to prove that, yes, Belal, he is a good striker. And I have Belal by a close decision. Early pick, though, I haven't watched all the tape, so I'm not 100% confident. Not even really 50% confident, to be honest. But that's my early pick. Let me know who you guys are picking for this fight. If you think JDM is going to pull off the upset, or do you think Belal, he's going to continue and still, let me know.